What's up, everybody? It's your boy Melvin here for another classic review. How you doing? How you doing? So, I think it was 2 years ago, I believe, that I did a review on Chowder, most specifically on the Halloween episode, Poultry Geist. You know, the one where Chowder eats an expired blurkey, which is a kind of like a chicken and a turkey. And we get this parody of, of Poltergeist and The Exorcist. We all know how that ended up. And this was actually a two-story episode. So today we're talking about the other one. The most spookiest house in Marzipan. Which is, wow. I forgot about it until I realized, oh wait, was there like a parody one of Psycho? Like, alright. And this came out in October 22nd of 29, same as Poultry Geist. So let's talk about it. And before we begin, did you subscribe and hit the bell? If so, let's go. So we get a opening intro of a puppet gazpacho, which dresses a vampire, most specifically Dracula, which is nothing new. If you've seen Chowder, they love using puppets. I think the only puppets I think they only have in hand is Chowder, Mongdal, Schnitzel, Truffles, Gazpacho, Panini, Endive, and the foods they make. I don't know who else they have. They can turn to puppets. I don't know. There's even a puppet of the creator of Chowder as well. I'm not joking, literally. So yeah. So how does it go? Well, it takes place while Mung was cooking something and Chowder comes running and shouted at Mung, which of course Chowder and Schnitzel both said they're scared. Then a zombie comes in and Chowder hits it until he realizes what the hell was that? Must be nothing. Well, it turns out it's just Truffle with morning face. And Chowder still hits her with the fish. Of course, they hear a loud thunder and they all scream, which I just like to see. There was a scene where Schnitzel screams. He just lifts his apron like it was a skirt, literally like a skirt. Oh my god. Of course, the phone starts ringing, which I forgot who answered it. Chowder gets it, but then he brought it to Truffles and answered it, and the voice says, "You will die. Leave me a schmink salad sandwich." Then Truffle tells them they have an order, and Chowder, Mung, and Schnitzel are dressed and act like babies. Of course, Truffle then asks where to deliver it, and the phone says, "Look back. Look outside." They all look outside, and they see a creepy house right there. Say, "Hey, that house wasn't there before." And Chowder said, "Yes, it was. It was there yesterday when we drove it." That house wasn't there before. Of course. Then they have to choose who's going to deliver it. Schnitzel pushes Chowder outside like, yep. Then Monk slides the background, so Chowder looks like he's moving, literally. There's something I like about the art style for Chowder is that it's what they wear. When you see them moving, no, the patterns don't stay still. They move one way while the character goes the best way. It's like they're moving back and forth. Even skin tone, the details on the characters, that is awesome. I love it. It's insane. And of course, why Chowder had to do it, I have no idea. That's a good question. Of course, so Chowder looks like he's moving, which of course, another gag. Then Chowder runs to Gazpacho's fruit stand. Then, when Gazpacho finally talks to Chowder, there's this big chicken who wears the same hat as Chowder. Whoops. Wrong person. Has the same problem. Gazpacho then says, "Can't help," and Chowder yells out, "Gazpacho's secret!" And Chowder just says, okay, man, you played dirty. Then they get to the house, which of course they argue over who goes there. Then Gorgonzola appears and delivers it, but of course, the way he meets some trees who says a joke, and Gorgonzola says bad joke. Gazpacho then goes to hide when Gorgonzola reaches the door and meets this terrifying looking demon-like woman. He screams like a little girl and back to the street. After Gazpacho appears in front of Mung's catering company and says what happened, Gorgonzola tells him that Chowder says that he missed it when Gorgonzola met the lady, and Gazpacho says, "Are you dead?" And Gorgonzola says, "Yes." And Gazpacho cries. That's just weird. Like, yeah, of course. Jesus Christ, they're trying over that thing. The way that Gazpacho asks Gorgonzola, "Are you dead?" "Yes." Bruh. Then Chowder asks, "How do we deliver the sandwich?" And Gorgonzola says, "Not me." And Chowder yells at Gorgonzola's secret, which, okay, man, you play dirty, which, what was the secret? Because, okay, let me tell you what was the secret. For Gazpacho, here's this. Gazpacho wears his underwear in the shower and says he's scared of being completely naked. Which, of course, he's the same thing for Gorgonzola as well. Which is pretty funny. I like how Chowder just blackmails both of them. And guess who shows up next? I think when Gorgonzola suggests a little layout and bomb her on the head, but how? Of course, Panini shows up with a cake and says, "Hi, lover." Remember, she stalks Chowder. People are a bunch of idiots complaining about Pepe Le Pew. You forgot Panini's is worse as well. And of course, scares Chowder into the house. Panini then says she has a triple layer bingo fries cake, cream cake, for him, and Chowder just comes out and grabs it out of her hand. Yeah, when he says fries cream, that's his drug right there. Of course, they take a bite out of it. Well, I don't call it a bite, a big chunk of it out of Gorgonzola's hand. Of course, that's it. This can be baked. Old ladies love bingo cake. And Chowder says, "No, not the cake! Take Panini, not the cake!" Of course, we get a next scene where Panini and the cake at the door, and Chowder at the side with a fish. Again with the fish. Panini asks if it will work. Of course, we don't know. Of course, at the sidewalk, I can't watch this. Then he thinks he hears Mother calling and darts off, which, wow. Chowder then knocks on the door and says, "Who is it?" And Panini says she's her neighbor and she brought her bingo cake. Then the voice says, bingo cake." The door opens and a woman comes out. A black hole or something sucks Panini and Gorgonzola right in. Of course, Chowder whacks her with the fish, or tried to, but the door closes and he missed. Next, Chowder says, "Oh no," and cries because he lost the cake. Or because he lost fries cream. Literally, there's an episode where he goes bonkers and Mung Dog actually creates a fries cream man who almost murders him. Because Chowder went full. Yeah. Now they create a fries cream woman to stop that. Oh boy. Of course, Chowder now says, "Now it's personal." Of course, Chowder knocks the door, but of course, Panini and Gorgonzola tries to stop him, but he throws them away. Then he comes to face with the woman, turns on the light, and guess what? Chowder finds out that she is Gazpacho's mother. Then Gazpacho's mom holds out a knife and makes like she's gonna kill them, but they all sit down and have cake instead. There was no, before this, it was a, oh, who these friends, Gazpacho? Mother, these are my friends. Now you know where they got where the twist from Psycho is, from Mother. Lauren Bates when he dresses his mother. I don't know if this is actually Gazpacho's mother, or does Gazpacho dress as his mother? Either way, we did get. This is actually pretty funny. Like, time to cut the cake! Of course, we get the public Gazpacho again, and that's it. Jesus Christ. And like I said, this is a parody of. This is a full parody of Psycho, literally. I don't know if this is actually it's actually the ending is like a parody of the film Psycho, which is pretty funny. Oh boy, but yeah, I find this episode pretty cool. It was pretty interesting, and remember, this was a 2-story episode for a Halloween special of Chowder. Remember, this is like a parody of Psycho, while Poultry Geist is a parody of Poltergeist and The Exorcist. Wait, I did put 2 and 2 together. I think this one of the Spookiest House in Marzipan is kind of like a parody of the Last House on the Left. The house by Wes Craven. Kind of like that. Most specifically the house, but not like the twist ending. Like it's like a parody of Psycho. But yeah. Let me know what you think of this episode of Chowder. Hey, it's been a while because, hey, I know there'll be more Halloween specials, and I forgot to mention this half of Chowder. I was more concerned about Poultry Geist. I forgot to mention about this one, but hey. Well, now we got it. And before we go, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, and also comment down below what other Halloween special we do on, because, hey, we'll have this last week of October, so comment down below so I can pop out more reviews or reactions to other videos. Until then, have a great day, have a great night, stay safe, peace out, see you next time, see ya.